just because like some of it.
Are we gonna fight?
We might fight a little bit.
God, no! Okay, let's do this.
Welcome to Jam Up number 27, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mark Thomas. This is MMA superstar Jeff Lights Out Hughes, strike it a pose. And this is Jam Up number 27. We got a lot of feedback from the last episode, sir, with Mr. Matt Trukovich.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up. I thought it might have been. It's definitely up there for top episode we've done.
Yeah.
I would say that and the Evan. I mean, they're all. Every time we have a guest, it's usually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think between that and Evan Wiley, we're the most widespread of different conversations we had, and usually we don't talk about stuff like that. So it was very nice.
No, it was a nice change of pace, and people seem to. Well, there was one comment specific. The only comment we got on the YouTube video specifically stated that it was. And like I said, I can't help but feel like it was kind of a fuck you at the same time as a compliment.
Yeah.
Basically, they said this is our best episode yet because of the guest and the things talked about. But it also, they also
said like about fucking time or something like that.
It was like, it's about time you have a more interesting podcast than all your others or something like that. It was
well,
kind of like half.
Hey, you know what? That means that he listens, though.
That is true.
So I'll take it.
Whoever that is. Yeah, but it was a great episode and got quite a few views. And hopefully we got him back again. That was a good one.
Yeah, we have to go out to him one of these times because it's like I said, his house is laid out.
I bet that'd be a nice little vlog one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that out of the way. We might as well let people know there's a new YouTube channel purely for Jam Up. We're gonna start putting stuff out on that one.
It's the most. I feel like the Jam Up is most done show for the Matt Archer Media.
It gets the most attention, probably has the most following, and I put the most effort into it. Not because I don't like any of the other ones anymore, just this one seems to be the most consistent.
Right, we are very consistent.
Although I think OWC will get a lot more consistent and a lot more attention.
Yeah, for sure.
From here on out, but a bunch of potheads. Once Jesse gets out of school, that might pick up more. But
you got options, people. You got options.
Problem with the new Jam Up YouTube channel is that you know how for the longest time we were trying to get 100 subscribers on
back to
Matt
zero,
Archer.
huh?
We're back. We have 6, 3 of which are Matt Archer Media.
Okay.
Ohio WrestleCast and My Western Jesus.
So we're gonna have to subscribe. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a lot of people to subscribe.
Yeah,
that'll be one of my jobs when I'm in Vegas. Is posting the shit out of stuff.
Cool,
so.
cool. Well, this episode should be out while you're in there. Yeah. So, but the problem with that is once we reach 100 subscribers, we can have youtube.com/jamup or youtube.com/jamuppodcast. As of right now, it's youtube.com/channel/TXQ4TK421, 48, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Yeah, set hut.
Well, those were all references to me. Like TK421 was Star Wars, and 12, 8, 14, 16, or 12, or 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, I believe are the numbers from Lost.
Couldn't tell you.
No, you didn't watch Lost?
No, never
Somebody
got
out there
into
knows.
it. I thought you were like trying to sound like a quarterback.
Oh, no. I'm too nerdy to sound like that. Even if I was trying, you would be like, what was that?
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of did it.
I guess it's true. But yeah, so we'd like, help us out. Look up Jam Up YouTube channel because we don't have a web address to give you right now. But
we will get you a good one here soon. Yeah. I will make sure of it.
And I think that's about everything I have when it comes to housekeeping wise. Because now that everything's changed, I'm not going to put the little pre-recorded housekeeping thing on there that I have been. So I figured I got to do it, manually this time. But yeah, all the usual shit. Like, share, subscribe, it's everywhere. Got it out of the way. This episode of Jam Up is sponsored by Fleshlight. I'm just kidding. Fleshlight, fuck it. But this episode of Jam Up is going to be a very split down the middle episode. It's going to be the first part, I would think, Game of Thrones. Second part, Avengers Endgame, because we have both seen it finally.
And the reason we're doing that is because the majority of the people have watched the last episode of Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 3, Battle of Winterfell. Not everybody has got a chance to go see Avengers Endgame yet.
Yes.
Which was, man, I just don't know. I'll wait to even comment on it.
We'll
but dude, let me tell you, it was definitely worth the watch. If you are listening, drop what you're doing. You have our permission. Go to the theater and see it right now.
Right now, yeah. Quit your job if you're there. If you're listening to this at work.
Please. Your job isn't worth it anymore.
As Nike would say, just do it.
Just do it.
You know? I, for one, did not see it in the theater. I downloaded a very, very good copy of it.
Yeah, it's the same exact one I'm watching on my Fire Stick right now.
It is a telesync, which is usually they take good audio and put it on the best cam version they could find. And for people that don't know, cam versions are when somebody takes a camera into the theater and films it. But nowadays, HD cameras are so readily available and consumer friendly that people could take in like a good camera like mine or an even better one like a DSLR and film it, and it'll look just a little, like the colors will be a little bleached out. It'll seem,
yeah, that's the one mine.
But it'll still look really fucking good. So that's what I got. I got a really good cam HD video and a really good audio that they put together, and then through VLC Player, I even tweaked with the contrast and everything and made it look even better. So it was like I had the movie.
Right.
The only thing that was different is that there were Korean
subtitles
or something on them.
So the first copy that I watched was a day before it released in the United States.
Oh, really?
And I tried. And I
didn't
didn't
fucking wait.
Oh my god! But I made it about. So the movie opens up with Hawkeye, right when the snap happens.
Yeah.
And
which was devastating.
I got to about where he's running around frantically looking for his family, and somebody stood up in the theater.
Oh, and
I was like, I can't do it. I can just wait.
Gotcha.
I was really sad. The quality was terrible. The subtitles were huge.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I waited till the next day or maybe the day after. I don't remember, but
I wanted to wait, but I knew not being a driver and being broke at the moment, I probably wouldn't see it until next week.
Right.
So I was like, "Fine, I'm gonna see what's out there." And one of the sites had it on there. I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And I just happened to pick a really fucking good one.
Good work.
Yeah, but we're getting on to Endgame already. We need to talk Game of Thrones first because we don't want to spoil Endgame. So basically, like, once we get to Endgame, we'll probably do a spoiler-free few minutes at the beginning, and then we'll let you know when we get into
this whole episode is a spoiler alert.
Yes.
All right.
If you haven't seen Game of Thrones Season 8, episode 1 through 3, or Avengers Endgame,
shut her off.
This isn't the episode for you.
Right.
Come back next week or however long it takes to catch up on this shit.
Let's jump into Game of Thrones. Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, so far there's been 3 episodes of Season 8. First 2 episodes, under an hour. Very kind of slow, but they gave you a lot of things you wanted out of them.
Yep.
It wasn't very action-packed, but it was
hardly any action at all.
A lot of fan service, which isn't always fan service is kind of a negative term anymore, but like if you're a fan, it's a great thing. Over fan service is a problem, in my opinion. Like the way I see it is if you're on Season 8 by now or you're making a sequel or something to anything, you're basically in the fan service business.
Yeah.
Like the whole reason any of this is still going at this point is because people were fans of the first incarnation.
Massive
the
following.
First go
yeah, correct.
So after this, especially in the final season of something, I would say a good 75%, 60 to 75% of the plot or things happening in the show is going to be fan service-y, if not straight up fan service. The problem is when it gets overly fan service, which I don't think they've done.
No, I thought I've heard a couple people with some backlash on the first 2 episodes, but my only backlash was they had 6 episodes to get us to where we want to be, and I thought the first 2 episodes were slow, but now looking back after watching episode 3, those first 2 episodes were definitely needed, wanted. Everything in between, you know. I loved them, especially episode 2. Episode 1 was whatever.
Yeah. Episode 1 had stuff. Episode 2 was chock full of setup. Episode 1 was like that slow setup. Like you're letting the engine idle for a minute before
you're letting her heat up.
Yep, exactly. Like, and I mean, it the first episode kind of tied up some loose ends from the last season and kind of continued some more on. So it was the whole first episode was a lead into the rest of the season from the previous season.
Yes.
And I think they've done it very, very well so far. We get to the Battle of Winterfell, episode 3, and it all kinds of starts to get very messy.
Yeah.
But before I start getting into anything negative or positive about it, I would say I liked it very much. I enjoyed it. I got a lot out of it, a lot of enjoyment out of it. But it wasn't without its flaws. It was by far, I think it was hyped a lot, and it was a little bit of a letdown, not because of anything specific. It was kind of a bunch of different things that just hurt the episode, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've heard a lot of the complaints, but like it was.
No, I haven't looked. I haven't really.
Oh, really?
No, I haven't really read anything up on it. I just kind of took it in for myself, and I'm kind of. Me and a few friends have been talking about it, but I kind of wanted to get your outlook on it.
No.
So this is kind of good.
Well, right off the bat, I watched it with my mom, and at the time I was psyched and I was pumped after the episode. I even talked to you briefly afterwards. I was like, dude, that was fucking killer. I can't believe it. I even described to you how I reacted to the ending and everything, and I was very much invested and very happy in that moment. But like I watched it again, and I started hearing people's opinions about it, and then I was like, that's a really good point. I guess I didn't think about that. And then even the things I was having problems with during the episode, I was just kind of like, but it's okay. Let's do that.
It's okay because it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, or not even that. I'm just like, it's not over yet, you know?
Right.
And I just didn't confront those concerns until way later. You know what I mean?
So let's hear your issues with the episode.
Well, it was very, very fucking dark. Very dark. Like,
Very
couldn't
dark.
see most of what was going on. And I don't know if that's because HBO's streaming services just suck. I don't know. Like, I watched the first 2 episodes on HBO Now.
That's what
right?
I watch them on, yeah.
And I'm watching them. I was like, this kind of looks like shit. Like, this looks like it's in like 720p or something. Like, it's not even full HD. And then I read up on it. It was like, yeah, HBO Now streams at a lower bit rate than most other services. So their stream isn't actually as high quality as it should be or could be. Like, they're kind of, you know, a step back in that way, but behind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and then I heard, well, Amazon, you can get HBO through Amazon Prime, which my mom has, and then you can get the free trial of it for a week, which is how I had HBO Now anyway.
Okay.
But, and then we got that, and it does look slightly better. And I even watched like the second and first episode again on there. I was like, yeah, this definitely looks better. But then episode 3 comes out. Even on the Amazon Prime stream, it had all these issues. So I can only imagine how shitty it looked on HBO Now. And I don't have the greatest TV in the world, but I'm sure in actuality, like if we bought it on Blu-ray or something, it's gonna look fucking great.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, at this point, you're thinking, Walt, calm the fuck down. That's what we're thinking at this point is, Walt, calm the fuck down. Mm-hmm. No, but at this point, I'm thinking like HBO, you spent like over $1 billion on this season, and you're blowing it by not upping your streaming service quality. You know what I mean? Like,
how many subscribers did they get in the last 3 weeks?
Exactly. They probably get the most of their subscribers in this time.
Hands
when
down.
Game of Thrones is airing. I mean, I don't ever have
it. And they lose it, you know.
Yeah,
as soon as
like
this is done,
after.
that's what I did the last 2 seasons.
And like since it's only 6 episodes this time, you can cleverly like use free trials for the first 2 episodes and then only pay for a month after that.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I'm doing. And but very dark, very dark. That is one of the biggest concerns most people have. Not only that, there's a lot of things in the episode that, looking back on it, doesn't really make sense. Like, I have a lot of unanswered questions. Not even unanswered questions, because I mean, I guess they could be answered in later episodes.
Okay.
But just things that didn't make much sense to me. A lot of them, and we can get into that as time goes on, I guess. But that's mainly my biggest concern was just how shitty it looked, how dark it was, how you rarely had any idea what was going on. A lot of the cuts were weird. Like at one moment you'd see what you thought was Brienne dying.
Yeah, that I
she's
did.
covered in fucking whites.
I think that's the look they were going for.
The next scene you see her, she's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just get into it, I guess. One of my main concern, or one of the things I had kind of a problem with, or was a letdown, was the Night King. He kind of sucked. After all that build up, not much with the Night King. Like, you didn't see him fight. You didn't see him... Like, he just wasn't as...
badass as you thought.
As they made it out for 8 seasons. Again, unless Bran's going to fill us in these next couple episodes or something, we don't know any backstory for him other than he was an ancient man that was turned into them by the tree people. He was
supposedly the first human, right? No. He was
one of the first men back in the day or something like that.
Yeah. And he was made by the children of...
To battle the humans.
But then he got too powerful.
And then he basically just turned on everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had no real backstory. We still have no idea why he's doing any of
this. I think the next 3 episodes are going to explain that.
I'm hoping so.
Because you can't have 3 episodes. There's not going to be another two build-ups for the last war or whatever.
Yeah. Well, what the fuck was Bran doing that whole time?
What's he been doing the whole time?
And then he was gone. You saw him fly around as some ravens or something, but then you didn't see what he did for the next 45 to an hour of the show.
Oh yeah.
So what the fuck was he doing that whole time?
They have to put. I guess they're still like some. They have to keep building a little bit in that episode. I guess.
Yeah.
That's that was a complaint of mine. Like, where the fuck did he go? Like, he went up as the three-eyed raven, and he like him and the Night King looked at each other, and then the Night King like did something with his hand to command the army.
Yeah.
And then Bran was gone.
See, that's it's funny you bring that up because there's been a theory going around for years now that the Night King is a seer like Bran. He can warg and shit. I think that's what he was doing because his eyes went white and he was going like this, and he basically warged into all these whites and basically walked them into the fire. That's
he was controlling them, yeah.
But like he was basically doing what Bran does. Like Bran can get inside of a direwolf or Hodor. Mm-hmm. He got inside of Hodor how many times and fought as Hodor?
Yeah.
That's why I thought like at one point he was gonna like fight the Night King as like warging into something, or maybe they had like a battle in their minds or something. Yeah. But nothing like that happened. And the Night King, essentially, knowing all this and seeing everything that has happened, the Night King was nothing more than a plot device. All it was something to get you to that point, to get them all together. What this tells you now is that the main bad guy isn't the Night King, it's Cersei.
Yeah.
This whole time, Cersei is the main guy. So, if they can fucking beat the Night King like that, Cersei shouldn't be a fucking problem.
Well, the fact that she now has that huge army behind her.
Well, okay, you're right. This definitely levels the playing field for them.
Yeah.
Before Daenerys going the way she was, before all this,
would have fucked her up.
No doubt.
Right.
Like Cersei
she could have took over King's Landing, but remember, I can't remember who said it to her, but like they were saying like, you take 3 dragons in the King's Landing, there's gonna be a lot of innocent dead people.
Yeah.
And that's why she didn't.
No, that's a good point. I thought since you didn't see the Night King at all, like at the end of episode 2 and most of episode 3,
I thought he was at King's Landing.
He was going straight for King's Landing.
I thought he was working his way back. And he, I don't know, he might have. He might have done
been a really smart strategy for him, knowing that all they have to do is take down him and the whole thing's over. If he's not there, they would have demolished them. Yeah. I mean, they could have killed all of the whites or the zombies and shit.
And he would just.
But he wasn't there. He wasn't there to resurrect them.
That's true. But when he got back there, he could have resurrected them.
Very true. Very true.
That's the part that, okay, so we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but...
I guess unless they burned them all before he got back.
The part that was fucking like, you thought... I kept hitting pause to see how much time we have left on the episode, you know what I mean? I was like, okay, 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, they won. We're good. We won. Now we just have to take out the Night King. I say we as like I'm part of the gang.
Yeah.
But, and then when he resurrected all of the already dead ones and all of their dead,
They're fucked.
Oh my God, I was like, that was the biggest kick in the nuts.
All of them
ever. I was like, oh no.
We're feeling the exact same way we were at that moment, and vice versa.
They're like, we did all that for nothing.
Yep. All of those, everyone died for nothing essentially at that point that had died. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the disappointment of the Night King essentially.
My only disappointment with the Night King, I agree with you with they didn't use him to a certain extent. I didn't have an issue until you said something. I still don't have really an issue, but it opened my eyes up. Right? Yeah. I wish he would have said something. I know that's a small point or kind of like a small issue to have, but I wish he would have right before, when him and Bran meet, I wish it would have been like he would have said something like, "This is why I'm doing this," or "I'm you." I'm something, you know what I mean? Anything, but he just stood there.
He gave us a smile. He gave us a smile when Dany tried to get him with fire.
That was pretty badass.
Did make me think, is he a Targaryen?
Oh my fucking God!
Is he a former Targaryen? Because
he can't be burnt.
Yeah, but I mean, her brother could. Her brother got a crown of gold, burning gold on his head.
Yeah, was that different though? You think?
I don't know.
Because fire doesn't hurt you, but that really wasn't fire. That was like melting lava.
Yeah, molten. That's true. I don't know. Has Jon ever been burned? I can't remember.
I was trying to think. Like I thought there was when he was at the Night Watch or whatever, the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that never happened.
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess that's something to.
But it makes sense because not only is the dragon dead, but they said only Targaryens can ride dragons.
Yeah. What do you mean the dragon dead?
The dragon is like a white now.
Oh yeah, but I mean it kind of changes things. If
it does. Yes,
it
does.
Turns them into
But also the point is still there. Like that's why Jon can ride on the dragon because he's a Targaryen. They say only Targaryens can be on dragons.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's not true. I mean maybe if only a Targaryen is manning the dragon, but like they all rode.
Yeah.
The dragon and
pretty much control the dragon.
Well, no, because like when they went up to try to steal a zombie and bring it back, they all rode the dragon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think a Targaryen has to be in control of.
That's what I'm saying. Is the Night King's on control of that dragon, even though the dragon is dead.
Yeah.
So that's a good point though. Maybe he is a Targaryen. Maybe he's the first Targaryen. We figured it out.
Shit,
we figured it out.
We figured it out right here on JAMUP. Tell everyone.
It's not going to be anything like that. We're going to be like, fuck.
Yeah. The first thing that really fucking bothered me was how terrible their strategy was. Like, you have fucking dragons. You know that, like, fire kills all these fuckers for good. Why aren't you just blazing these motherfuckers up? The Night King's not here right now.
I thought so. The same.
And you have two dragons. One can be up there manning, not seeing fucking anything because it's so damn cloudy. The other person can be down there just mauling over zombies.
Just making a line like you're mowing.
And none of them thought about the fact that they can't see this signal that Davos is trying to give them. Like go down a little bit. Watch. Take a look around. Like it's like they just forgot all their strategy.
Yeah.
Not only that, Jon's just chilling on the wall looking at Bran. Turn that dragon around and start fucking burning all these motherfuckers.
Well, Jon knows there's some significance with Bran too, because I thought, remember when Jon fell off the dragon and Dany came down and they're kind of like staring at each other? Yeah. I thought he said run, but he said Bran. And she's like, no. Like he's pretty much like go save Bran.
Yeah,
I thought he said run, and then all the whites started attacking the dragon and shit.
Yeah. No, she told him to go, and then that's where she was like, because Jon probably would have like helped her and killed, or could have even died at that point. But she told him to go, and then like 30 seconds later, she was getting overrun by zombies. Like
that's what I thought. Yeah, I thought he said originally. I thought he said run, and I rewatched it, and he said Bran, like go save him. So there has to be something like, because they're really not explaining a whole lot about what's so significant about Bran.
Yeah, that is the thing, right?
Yeah. Why is he so significant? Why is he so important?
I feel like they have to give us some sort of explanation in the next couple of episodes because I mean, with as many plot holes as there was in this, there has to be some sort of explanation. Yeah. Another one of the first things that bothered me was they sent out the Dothraki. Well, we can't overlook Melisandre popping up out of nowhere.
It was awesome. She's just
enchanting all their swords, and then just like peacing out.
How badass was that?
That
though?
was a hell of a way to start the battle. Then, and Jorah was very iffy. Walter, nothing happened. Literally.
I chanted. My bad.
Sorry, folks, but Jorah was very iffy about her when this happened. Calm down, dude. And but he eventually lets her. She's like, let them lift their swords up and shit. They lift them up. She does that shit. Then we see Ghost is with Jorah. I'm like, why the fuck is Ghost with Jorah?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either.
If anything, Ghost, I understand Jon's preoccupied. Put Ghost in the crypt with the rest of them. Not only that, what the fuck is Ghost going to do?
Yeah, Ghost should be down there to help protect the crypt, that's for sure.
He's not going to affect anything in this fight.
That's true.
Unless they like dipped his fucking teeth in Valyrian steel or capped him with, which would be kind of cool, with dragon
awesome.
glass.
Yeah.
But really nothing. So when the Dothraki are riding in first, which I think is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is a terrible idea. Like, let them come to you, obviously, but they go in there. You don't see anything that's going on. You get a split second of them getting right there to the front line of the enemy, and it lighting up for a second from their swords, and you just see the fucking undead giant, and the guy's just like, oh shit. You see it, and it cuts. You see that awesome shot of Dany and Jon's perspective where they're just running into it, and then you see
all
a
the
shot.
lights. That one?
Yeah, just going out like candles, you know? And then you see a shot from fucking Grey Worm's perspective of just all that light just getting doused out and just gone. You see horses coming back. You see Jorah riding back. Like, it doesn't even say anything. He's just looking like, no.
Yeah, we're fucked.
But no Ghost. You don't see Ghost.
Ghost is still alive,
for the longest time, he is. For the longest time, I'm like, how are they going to do Ghost like that? Not only that, how are they going to do the Dothraki like that?
Yeah, they did them dirty.
They're supposedly like some of the best fighters in the land.
That's why they sent them first, though.
I mean, I guess so, but did you really think they stood a fucking chance like that? Just them?
They're like the most... Well, I don't know.
That's like... Okay, how many Dothraki? There was probably like a few hundred Dothraki versus like 20,000 fucking zombies. What do you think's gonna happen? Like they essentially sent Jorah to his
all their
death.
sickles were on fire.
I know, but like, all right.
What it was made to do.
Imagine 50 of you taking on 200 zombies with fire swords. You're probably not gonna make it.
No, I'm not.
Not only that, just all of that was weird.
I think that whole
somehow Jorah
they
survived.
couldn't figure out a way to. That was like the first scene to like show that there's no hope. Like, oh fuck, we're in trouble. This
Just to
episode could
show
get ugly quick.
Yeah, like I even saw like.
And who are they going to send out there first to do it? You know, you can't send out Grey Worms, dudes.
Don't send out anybody. Have them come to you, especially with your plan of the
trench,
your botched fire trench and shit. But I don't know. It was.
I thought it was shot. Everything was great. Besides, it was a little too dark. I thought it was a beautiful though. Like just there, it took you. It was such a roller coaster ride. Like I said, at one point you thought they were winning. At one point you thought, like when the what the hell are they called now? The Dothraki go out there. That was like, oh fuck, and like what's his name? Jorah. He comes back and he looks right at Grey Worm and he shakes his head like fuck.
That's the first instance where
helplessness. Like,
you see
like, oh,
just
God.
how deep in shit they are.
Right.
Like I even saw I think how people like will screenshot tweets and then post them on things.
Yeah.
I saw a screenshot of a tweet where somebody's like, did anybody tell the Dothraki what they were fighting? Because they seemed very surprised.
Yeah,
whoa, wait. Saw what was there. So they're kind of just blindly following Daenerys.
That's funny.
But yeah, Sam, huge liability. Should not have been in the battle.
He should have been downstairs.
He got his friend Ed killed.
Yep. Edson Tollett.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
All
Edson Tollett.
Okay, because all I have is Ed, and then I wrote Night's Watch in parentheses.
Yeah.
But
He said how he died by is he saved Samwell.
Sam. Yep.
They kind of took like a little breather when 50,000 people are battling and sword in the back. See you later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then didn't Sam run? Like I'm out of here.
I think eventually.
I don't think
know
he
where
killed
went.
whoever killed Ed.
I remember at one point seeing Sam on the ground, just surrounded by the dead, essentially. It's some of them, and he's just stabbing one repeatedly, like laying down, like next to it, just stabbing it repeatedly. I'm just like, Sam, you should be in the crypt, bro.
Yeah. They said in the behind the scenes, they said that the one guy, I don't know if he was directing or producing or something. I'm sorry, my phone's going off.
No, it's all good.
He said he kept telling Sam, the actor, obviously, Sam, you're not a fighter. Remember that. Keep remembering that you're not a fighter.
Yeah.
Because the actor was doing an interview and he said it's so hard to whenever all your buddies on the show are like fucking shit up and you are not supposed to.
Yeah.
And they said the one scene they even yelled, they're like, Sam, you're not a fighter, and he's like, okay. So he's like, I started crying.
Yeah.
And I thought how brilliant that was. Like, he wasn't supposed to, but that's what a normal kind of a sissy would do. And
yeah.
that,
No, for sure.
They'd be like, fuck, we're gonna die. And then you had they had to do the fire with the Hound, and he kind of freaked out for a second.
Until Beric was like, tell her that or whatever, and he sees Arya. And I love that. Not a second's hesitation. He just ran to her.
All right, yeah.
He
snapped him out of it.
Boom. There you go. Like, that's his whole point in life.
Arya.
Yeah, is basically to just make sure Arya's safe. And I mean, Beric Dondarrion, the guy, which I love this guy's voice. That guy's has one of the coolest voices.
He does have a cool voice.
And just the way he talks, the Lord of Light.
Did you see that meme where it's the it's always like it always has like the kid, he's like doing this in the classroom and he has like veins sticking out of his neck, and it was like it always says like when you haven't told somebody you're vegan for 5 minutes. Well, this one was the same kid with an eye patch, and it says when you haven't talked about the Lord of the Light for 5 minutes and his head's ready to explode.
I like it.
Because but it was kind of cool, the Lord of Light or whatever brought him back just to protect Arya.
Yeah, essentially that's where it led him. Like, Thoros was no longer around, and he made it to that point. And I think he knew that. Yeah. He even had like the symbolism of him. He put his arms up in the door to almost like he was blocking anything.
Right. That's what he was doing.
That was his whole point, was to get Arya there. And it's like the Lord of Light has been. It's like the Lord of Light this whole time has been pushing people towards Arya.
Yeah.
Like Melisandre told her the shit about the eyes in like season 5 or something, and then she brought it back up this time, which I don't know if that was originally intended to be that way, but it worked very fucking well.
Phenomenal.
Because as soon as I heard that, I was like, ooh. In this one, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as she was like, and blue eyes, many blue eyes, I was just like, fuck.
Well, I saw another thing saying that, because I didn't even think about it. It said, brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes. Brown eyes was the guy that did the Red Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
The old fucker.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Tully? No. No, Tully was Kat's original name. I can't remember.
Anyway, she killed him. The blue eyes is the Night King.
Yeah.
Green eyes is Cersei.
Cersei, yeah. So she'll probably end up killing. Which I think Jaime should kill Cersei. Jaime should be the one to kill Cersei.
I thought Jaime was going to be the one to kill her. But now I'm not. After knowing the Night King is dead, I think they're going to have to. It's going to have to be a main character. It's going to have to be Tyrion.
What color eyes does Dany have?
That's a great point. I don't know.
If she has green eyes, she might kill Dany. Because a lot of people are saying that Dany might end up being vilified.
I think she is. I
don't think so.
I think she is because, she knows she's not the rightful heir anime.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Every preview they show is her still commanding everybody. But I don't know how long that's going to last.
I think with the logical thing to do there with that situation of Jon being the true heir to the throne, but Dany living basically her entire this entire arc of the
Existence,
story
yeah.
is to be on the Iron Throne. The logical, like, most peaceful way of just the best thing to fucking do. They're already in love. Who cares if their uncle or aunt?
Nobody
and
has to know that.
Well, even if they do, they're Targaryens.
Yeah, that's true.
Not only that, Jon's blood is way muddier than any other Targaryen ever was.
Right.
It's not gonna be weird at all if they actually get married. Like the most logical thing for it to happen is Dany and Jon get married and they're king and queen. And Jon has expressed multiple times he doesn't want to be king. So Dany will basically just rule, and Jon will be the king. A kept king or something. Although I'm sure he'd probably be more of a military king, I would think.
Right.
Way more active than Robert ever was. But I think with that being as simple as it could be, and technically everybody would be getting what they want there. For that not to happen would be ridiculous, but at the same time, it's Game of Thrones. They're not going to.
They're going to throw you a curveball.
So,
was Arya's big moment killing the Night King, or was it her on the Iron Throne?
Arya on the Iron Throne?
Yeah. Why not? She killed the Night King. You know how much credit she's going to have now?
For sure. She's got mad street cred now.
And then she goes and kills Cersei.
Well, I don't think that's not Arya. I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Just like what Sansa isn't Arya.
Right.
Like she said in the first scene. That's not me. She told Ned, like, even at this point, Arya was trying to be a warrior, and it took Melisandre to remind her that you're not a warrior. You're a fucking silent assassin.
Right.
Which is what Arya did. Was she silently assassinated the Night King. I cannot figure out how she fucking did it, dude. That is my main problem.
Well,
like, I know that she's sneaky.
Yeah.
They didn't show her changing her face to look like anybody. If you watch, Bran is completely fucking surrounded. Completely surrounded. White Walkers right there where that little path was made. There is an instance right before it all goes down with Arya.
The dude's hair moves.
The dude's hair moves, and he looks to the side almost like he hears something or he notices something.
And she comes out of nowhere.
And then she comes out of nowhere. I thought, did she jump out of the fucking weirwood tree? I don't think so. She came out from behind at him. How?
She just maybe, I don't know.
How?
Because
they even show you, because she...
Are we thinking too hard about that?
No, they didn't think hard enough about this, I think, because this is what happened. She comes at him, she stabs him, he immediately turns around, grabs her by the neck and the hand.
Yeah.
She drops, she does that move she did to Brienne back in the day. She drops it, grabs it with her other hand, and stabs him. Just gets the fucking tip in, too, if you watch.
Yep.
I've watched this a couple times, I don't know if you can tell. And he shatters, she drops to the ground. They then cut to a fucking wide shot of her landing on the ground, and she is completely surrounded.
Right.
And then they all just start shattering.
And she hit her right in the spot where he originally became the Night King.
Yeah, she got him right in the middle of in the sternum,
the heart.
Well, heart, yeah,
essentially.
Although I don't know if she actually did. It looks like she got him like right here in the rib.
Because I saw his armor went this way, and then there was a little space right here. So I'm thinking
what I heard somebody describe it as is that she found open spot in the armor and got it there. So she is almost like if there was armor like punched over itself, she almost got it like between the two plates is the way I look at it. But I mean, she could have fucking like poked him in the ankle and it would have got him. I thought for a second that Theon might get him in the leg real quick while he's like walking past him.
You think they would give that to Theon? Greyjoy.
No, but I do love the Theon Greyjoy thing, everything that happened with him, for sure. Like yeah, he was a total shithead, but like he has redeemed himself at this point.
Oh, in full, yeah. And that was I was going to bring that up next. When Theon looked down at Bran and he said, "You're a good man," I think that is because if you watch this whole series, he's had an issue with courage. And constantly kind of being the shithead. And, I mean, for instance, remember when they captured the ship? His uncle captured the ship. What'd he do? He jumped off.
Yep.
Which is like
when they got,
known as the biggest bitch move you can ever do.
Yep. And
everything is kind of built back up to that. Like, that was the
and he redeemed himself in the last episode with that, too. He saved her, and then she went to take back the Iron Islands or whatever.
Yeah, and he went back.
And he went to fight for Winterfell.
Yeah. So I think he had the courage because he was fucking dudes up. And I was really surprised.
He had he was Hawkeye in it. Like
and then
eventually ran out of arrows. Which I'm always like, dude, you should always have just there should be arrows on the ground all around.
Yeah, there is, but he was just like, it's not in my bucket. What should I do?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. That's your bucket.
Well, get a staff and start fucking people up that way too.
Or that, yeah. He should have had like a whole rig set up made by Gendry like Arya did, you know? A tree stand and shit.
A tree stand.
He brands up there, you know?
I wanted to talk about, and this is a huge part of a lot of fans' feedback was, I think her name is Lyanna?
Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah.
Jorah's, I believe, his
niece.
Cousin.
Because
before the battles, I think it might have been the end of last episode, she was like, I wish you well, cousin, or some shit like that.
I knew she was related to him somehow.
Yeah.
She took down a fucking giant.
That was so great, dude. From the moment everything happened with her there, it was great. The giant busts through the door, immediately just fucking gets her with his hammer or his club.
I think it was like a club, yeah.
I thought she was dead in that moment. I was like, oh, that killed that little 12-year-old girl or whatever.
Yeah, that's really like 17.
Is she 7?
Yeah, I think she's 16 or 17. I looked up all the... Yeah, dude. She's like 16,
she looks like she's not more than 14. Wow.
They do that.
She looks
kid
very
actors,
young.
Though. And they find the youngest ones. Harry Potter
I
still
guess
looks
that's
like
true.
he's 12.
Oh, yeah, and I guess fucking... What was it? Tobey Maguire was like almost 30 and he was playing Spider-Man.
Playing a high schooler?
Yeah. Yeah, and so I thought she was dead in that moment, and the zombie giant is there, and she gets back up, I guess, and starts running at him with a fucking war cry like you wouldn't believe, and she's like waddling back and forth.
She kind of ran funny.
Yeah, it was almost like an old like Evil Dead character, like a zombie or something.
Yeah.
But like if you would have sped it up, that's exactly what it looked like. But he picks her up, starts crushing her. And you're like, fuck, this is so sad to watch. And then she has her badass moment. She takes that dragonglass dagger, jabs it right in his eye, and it just shatters. And they both fall to the fucking ground. Actually, they don't shatter. The whites, the zombies.
No, he kind of like fell over.
They just kind of die.
Yeah.
And they were both fell over almost like they fell asleep together or some shit. It was quite an epic little shot.
I watched did you watch how they shot that? It was kind of cool.
I did not. I saw there's like a 40-some minute thing out.
Yeah, so the dude, the actual giant, the guy that plays the Giants, is a 7'5" dude.
Yeah.
He's huge, and they, obviously a bunch of makeup and stuff on him. This something that like 1/8 the size of a real human, which is what she is to him.
Yeah,
it's like just this green mannequin that he like picks up, and he does like.
And they just put her in there.
And then she is in the whatever, another studio, and she's on some machine getting whipped around. Poor little girl just getting whipped around. Her legs are flipping and shit like that.
And they a lot of money.
Tie it all together. It's just amazing how they do that. They could never have made this show 10 years ago and had the same
they
visual effects.
But it wouldn't have looked as great. It would have looked like Lord of the Rings does now.
Exactly.
Because if you go
and
back
then
and
what's
watch
this going to
Lord
look
of the
like in 10 years from now? It's going to be like,
it's going to look like shit.
Bad.
Yeah. 10 years from now, we're going to be in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wait.
I kept saying that too. I kept looking at Rachel. I was so geeked, dude. I was like, I stood up. Fucking. This is what we play for. This is what we fucking play for.
Dude, like I told you right after when I was texting, I was like, dude, I should have recorded me and my mom watching because it would have been gold, pure gold. My mom was losing her shit. When Arya was coming at him, I immediately jumped up and went, yes! And then when he catches her and grabs her neck and her arm, I'm like, no!
That's what I did.
And then,
like, no.
And then she drops and I go, oh! And then she grabs it and stabs and I go, yes! Dude, I am jumping up. Like, if the camera was sitting right here in front of the TV, all you would see is from, like, here going up and down, up and down. And my mom just like, ah! But, dude, I lost it. I lost
it as well.
But that's when everything, or like an hour later, everything started setting. I'm like, how? How did you do it? Did you jump out of the tree? I don't know.
I thought maybe there was something to the tree also. Like, is there a passage in the tree that we don't know about?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Is there an underground tunnel? Because remember the one tree that Bran became the three-eyed raven in? That kind of was like a house inside of it.
Yeah, it was like a magically large house on the inside.
I think it was all underground because you saw the roots and
like
stuff. They were sleeping in the roots.
Yeah, it was like.
So is that like the same idea? Maybe they all knew.
Think about that. They were actually living in like a little root.
Yeah,
hut.
they slept in the roots.
Even the three-eyed raven guy, the old guy, was like just chilling in there.
Yeah, he was like wrapped up.
Which reminds me, I like the original Three-Eyed Raven that was at the end of that one season, and then the new season it was Max von Sydow. They got a much better actor to do it, but the guy looked very, very cool with the long.
And
hair.
you kind of he did. He had super long hair.
Super long hair looked very, very wizardy. You know what I mean?
You remember the mountain? There's been 3 mountains.
Yep, there was a mountain.
The first one was awesome. The second one looked like a basketball player. He was tall and skinny.
Yep.
And then obviously the
third one is
the famous one.
Yeah, the one everybody knows.
Strong man.
I think the third one is the scariest just by his size. Sure, he is the mountain size.
Yeah, he's legit.
But the first one looked the most the part.
Yeah, he was also
menacing
very large.
just by his physical.
And he played a very good villain.
Yeah,
very good villain. And the second one literally had one part, I think. He was sitting at a table eating.
Yeah, and in the first one, to me, looks like he could legitimately be the Hound's brother in reality.
Yep.
Like if you saw the Hound and him next to each other, oh yeah, they're brothers for sure. Yeah. The new one, you're just like no, because the new one's
young too. The new one's only 30 years old.
The Hound looks older than the Mountain. The Mountain's supposed to be his older brother.
Yeah. The new Mountain is only 30 years old in real life.
Oh, really?
He's our age.
Wow, he's younger than me, actually. 'Cause I'm about to be 32.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm about to be 32.
I'm about to be 31 in 17 days,
Jesus
bruh.
Christ, dude. I'll be 40 before you know it.
Don't talk like that.
Oh, my God.
And we'll still be talking about Game of Thrones and shit, whatever the next Game of Thrones is.
Well, the prequels and the sequels and shit.
They are going to do that, right?
Yeah, they're doing a prequel for sure, and I think they have a couple more coming. Yeah. Not only that,
they can't just end it like this.
D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, the creators of the show, are writing a whole new Star Wars trilogy. Yeah, like a completely separate one from the Skywalker saga.
I don't hate the Skywalker trilogy. Saga, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, if it's good, but I don't want to see like
I didn't like the last
brother and sister fucking each other.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it: Cersei, Jaime,
Luke,
and Leia.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of similarities there.
For the audio listeners. All right. Moving on from Lyanna, we can go straight to Jorah.
Yep.
Jorah, the death of Jorah.
The last death of the show
so far. He picked up where Jon left off, defending Daenerys. He told him to go find Bran. Jorah was like, I'll protect my bitch. And he did. He did not go down until he felt like he needed to.
He's still ultimate friend zone. Poor guy.
That actually reminds me, I didn't count, but somebody brought up the fact that they think that the amount of times that Beric was stabbed protecting Arya was one for every time he was resurrected. And then one to die on.
No, I didn't.
I don't. Like I said, I didn't actually research this and find out if this is accurate. But somebody mentioned that. I was like, that's interesting.
That's a stretch, but that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool if they did actually go that far. But Jorah, finally biting the dust, doing exactly what he wanted to do. I think dying for Daenerys, and Daenerys bawling her fucking eyes out.
Yeah, that was pretty good acting on her part. I thought.
Yeah,
because I didn't think she'd. I knew she'd take it hard, but I didn't think it was going to be that hard. Because if you remember, she was going to execute him a couple seasons ago.
Yeah,
about 4
don't
seasons
think
ago.
She was actually going to, and I think this all proves it now. But I think she was trying to be a hard ass, trying to prove a point there for a minute. But yeah, for a while there, she was not a fan of Jorah, but I think deep down she's still very much.
She went through pretty much a whole season and a half of just being a very unlikable character.
Yeah, a lot of people stopped liking Daenerys after a while, and she was like a fan favorite like the first couple seasons.
Well, she was a prisoner at first.
Well, yeah.
She went from rags to riches pretty quick.
And it was hard for dudes not to like her. She was getting fucked like every 2 episodes there in the first season. I mean, the only it's gonna make me sound like a fucking dickhead, but because they made shortly after the first season, they started doing comic book renditions of the show. Actually, it might be based more on the books, which if it is, I'd want to read those more. But the only issue I bought was number 2. and it was the one where Daenerys and Drogo get married, and there's
pretty much rapes her.
There's pages of sex in that, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this one because at the time it was like 2011 or 12, and I was a single guy.
I didn't start watching until season 3, so and I was like going back, and I was like, man, I feel like I've been watching this show forever, and it started in 2014, 2011.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
2011.
I remember
I started watching.
I had heard about the show, but I heard it was coming out, and then I was staying at my cousin's house, and then our dude Duffy lived in the apartment right underneath him. So we went down to smoke with him one night, and he was watching it, and that was the night it aired, first episode. So I got to see it from the first episode, the night it aired, and then I haven't stopped watching since.
Wow.
Because I remember there was a show that came on Starz with it at the same time called Camelot. That was really, I liked that show a lot too, and they were like
neck to neck.
Yeah, they were like going up against each other essentially. Yeah. Camelot ended after the first season got canceled. Game of Thrones went on. Right. Game of Thrones won for sure.
Right.
Game of Thrones is a better show than that, but I still liked that show a lot.
It took me because my buddy let me borrow the whole first season when I first got in. He's like, you gotta watch this, and I was like, it probably sat on my TV stand for, I'm not joking, 3-4 weeks before I even put it in.
Yeah.
I put it in. It took me 3 times to get through the first episode. I'm like, there's a lot of tits in this. This is kind of cool. But I was just like,
exactly.
I'm not feeling
it. That sucks us right in.
I was like, I'm not really feeling it too much. But, and then it just picked up. And then by episode 3, I was like, I'm hooked. And I haven't stopped ever since. I had to go back and rent the second season. And then it was like right as the third season ended. So I think I even went back and waited till the 4th season to go watch the 3rd season.
Dude, this is one of those shows that like Shameless or something, and like even like Better Call Saul and other shows like that. I'll wait till the season's over and then binge it.
Right.
Game of Thrones never done that. Never.
I do that with Shameless every year because it's like you don't.
That's how I'm doing Shameless right now.
You don't get spoilers or anything like that.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait. I forget. Like I actually need them insulting me and asking me why I didn't watch last episode in the beginning of Shameless because I can't fucking remember.
I can't remember either.
Game of Thrones, I've watched it 3 times this week. I can remember.
Right.
You know. But.
I'm sorry. The last death was the red lady.
Melisandre,
yeah. She takes off her necklace and walks out, takes a nap on the snow.
Yeah, she didn't. I think she thought that she was going to die in the battle.
Yeah.
And there was a moment there when she was lighting the trenches where you could tell she got distracted and she was getting scared. Seeing those things come at her and getting taken down and watching the Unsullied slowly being less, she was scared for a moment and she finally got it in there. But a couple things I don't want to leave out. Fucking the dragons had some awesome shots of the dragons, as you can see in the background. Yes. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, it was very artistic.
Other than that, snow and smoke everywhere, kind of hard to see them. Sometimes I couldn't even tell what dragon I was looking at,
right,
or who was on it.
Mm-hmm. The one time,
which I guess made the reveal of the Night King coming at him all of a sudden that much more surprising.
When I did not realize the dragon lost half his face, the dead dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought Jon's dragon was going down. I didn't realize it was the other one.
That's what I mean. It was very messy.
It was
hard
messy.
to see what was going on. Especially
it's kind of the look they were going for, I think.
Which, like an editor or a production guy from Game of Thrones has, like, I guess, bitten back on all the critique about how dark and shitty it was. It's like, it's not dark and shitty. You just don't know how to tune your TVs. So, not only that, but a lot of people are saying that, like, that's actually how it would be.
Yeah.
Like, you watch the Battle of Helm's Deep and Lord of the Rings, it's extremely well lit, but you can see what's going on. Yeah. That's why they did it that way. This, not very well lit at all, but it's more gritty and real. Another thing I don't want to leave out is Sansa and Tyrion in the crypt.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like a forgotten part of the whole episode.
This is a very good part, although I still think it's retarded. Pardon my word. It is though. To think that they're safe in the crypt,
right?
Knowing that, I mean, what everyone thought was going to happen happened. They resurrected. You probably, I don't know who that family member was that came out and was coming.
I wish we would have got a Robb Stark appearance.
See, I thought like. Rob probably would have got away with it. I don't think they could have done Cat, because then everybody would have been like, oh, they'll do that, but they won't show Lady Stoneheart, which I don't know if you know who Lady Stoneheart
she's like
is.
supposed to be the resurrection.
Yeah, and she's like batshit crazy. Yeah. Very, very vengeful. Yeah. Like, but looked awesome.
I wonder why they didn't do that. It's just not in the cards, I guess.
So I thought who could that be? Like, they wouldn't do Headless Ned. That would be weird.
That would be stupid, yeah. Did they even get Ned's body back is what I want to know.
Also, Rob would be headless too. They cut his fucking head off and put the wolf on there, remember?
Yep.
And had him traipsing around after they killed him.
Yep.
So
yeah, you're right.
There's not too many, like maybe it's Lyanna or, some old member or something. Yeah. But they had that little conversation there, that heart-to-heart about, like, you think we could have worked, And she's like, no. She's like, but if it means anything, you were the best of them.
Yeah.
Which at the time, I thought she meant the Lannisters. The best of the Lannisters.
She's the best of the husbands.
Best of the husbands, yeah. For sure. He's definitely was.
Which two were Lannisters, and one was, what was the fuck?
Two were Lannisters. Oh, yeah, two were Lannisters, and one was Ramsay.
Ramsay Bolton, yeah.
So, yeah. What? She didn't actually marry Joffrey.
Yeah.
Did she?
I'm pretty sure she did.
No, because Joffrey married
right.
what's her name and died at his wedding. She was engaged to Joffrey.
She was engaged.
I guess her either husbands or
flings
prospects.
Yeah. Great. Littlefinger was one of them.
Littlefinger was not her husband.
No, he was just kind of like
he
a guy a man in part of her life.
He made her think that that's what he wanted, and then he married her to Ramsay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Littlefinger was fucked up. Which I'm glad that April's over because I don't have to look at Littlefinger anymore. I have to look at Danny. People don't know that I have a Game of Thrones calendar over here, and it was Littlefinger all April. And I was like, fuck April. Especially April when Game of Thrones is playing. But now it's Danny. But, yeah, something... I thought that was very sweet, but I why didn't they help anybody? They're hiding back there. People are literally screaming, getting attacked by the dead. They both had dragonglass daggers. Both pulled them out, and then you still didn't see them help anybody. It had all been figured out by then.
Yep.
I am watching this part, right, where they're hiding behind the crypt, and a meme pops into my head for what I want to make. You remember the scene in Dogma where Jay and Bethany are hiding, and Jay's starting to pull his pants down?
Yeah.
She's like, what are you doing? And he's like, end of the world, 5 minutes left to live, you said you'd fuck me. I wanted to take that picture, and I was going to. I started to try to make it. I wanted to take that picture of him and her hiding behind the crypt and then replace Tyrion with Jay pulling his pants down. And then post it, and just to see how many people got it.
Oh, they would get it.
And but the scene in which Jay does that in Dogma, it's all shot from, like, the chest up. So you don't, like... I could just put Jay in there, but without seeing him doing what he's doing and shit, it wouldn't have any. So I don't know how. I might still figure something out, but I thought I was watching that laughing, and I even looked at my mom. I was like, I got a great idea for a meme right now that you would not understand. And
I think a lot of people would, though.
But I thought that's a one thing. I even wrote that down, Jay meme idea. But yeah, I guess to wrap that up, we will go with. Let's list off the dead.
All right.
Which
I wrote down.
I might have missed some.
Very dear to my heart.
But
not as many as I thought were gonna die.
Not. I thought main characters were gonna.
I thought maybe one or two mains were gonna die.
But I thought a lot more people were gonna die. I thought Sansa could have been one of them.
I thought the biggest character that died was Theon.
Theon.
Ser Jorah.
I would say Jorah. I think everyone expected Theon to die, but I think Jorah was probably the biggest name aside from the Night King, of course. I wrote Ghost as a question mark, which now I have to cross off.
Ghost is not dead.
Which
I saw that picture.
We didn't address that in the preview for next week. You see Ghost.
See Ghost's leg, and like part of his snout.
You see him standing there with people,
like a bunch of people. Yeah. But the
like
one
right there in the middle.
I tried to pause it, and there might be a better shot of it.
That's what I saw.
I got a picture. It was like a little bit of his snout and his arm.
Okay.
I go, okay, he's still alive.
And we also saw the dragon. That's how we know Jon's dragon is also alive. Which, how cool was it when Jon's dragon bit the neck of the ice dragon, and when he went to fucking shoot fire came out of his neck.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
That was cool.
Sorry, I just thought about it. But with that, we'll list off the dead, right? My list is not in order, but my first on the list is Lyanna Mormont, which we talked about. Sad, but
awesome.
in a blaze of
Probably
glory.
the best death of the episode.
Then cousin Jorah, not long after that. Theon Greyjoy. Everybody knows Ed. What was his last name?
Tullet.
Tullet.
Tollettt.
It's funny that
Tullet.
you know his last name and I don't, considering that usually it's the other way around.
Yeah, that's true.
Lost him in a terrible fashion. Thanks, Sam. Beric Dondarrion, which the more I read his name, the more I think that George R. R. Martin know a guy named Derek Bondarian. Because Derek is a very
that
common
makes
word.
sense. Yeah, Derek Bondarian. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna Facebook it.
But Melisandre, of course, the Night King and his minions, and
I just put
that's
Night
it.
King died epically from Arya.
there you go, there you go, and the Dothraki are done. And
Forever. Yeah, there's
I would
none
say
of those left.
The Unsullied, as we know it, at least, are over. I believe Grey Worm is still
Grey
alive.
Worm's still alive.
But I'm sure
dude, how about that?
90% at
He
least.
fucking did the
of
booby
Unsullied.
trap with his boys on the other side of it. Like, sorry.
You got to do what you got to do,
Yeah.
man. I'm here to serve the queen, not my boys.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure that was really fucking hard for him. And
He did. They made it. They
seem
made
like
it seem
was
it was-
because
yeah.
ever since Daenerys, their whole life had changed. They had went from just being war robots, basically,
Yeah.
to we're all family. We're all boys.
Well, you remember
We
when
have personality.
she said you guys are free to go, and he's like, we don't have anywhere to go.
I don't think any of them left.
You know, we're not. No, they didn't. They're
I don't
like,
think
we're
one
not
of them
going
did.
anywhere. This
I
is
mean,
our.
They were so trained for war that when they introduced them, the one guy cut the guy's nipple off
Yeah.
just to show how unaffected by pain they are. That's
Fuck that.
still hurts thinking about.
I gotta take a little break here.
Go for it. Well, you want to wrap this up?
Yeah,
real
let's
quick?
wrap this one up.
Going from there, where do you think it's going to go from here?
I say we're gonna get a final war. I think, I just don't know what's gonna happen. I think the good guys are gonna win now.
I don't think Cersei's going to end up, although I wouldn't be surprised if Cersei did. But seeing how this episode went, and we didn't lose any main characters and everything,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and I've noticed that ever since they've gotten out of the books, and it's all been written by, based on an outline from George R. R. Martin and written by writers, the story has gotten very different, not so brutal, not so well. It's
Right.
not as well written as it used to be. So I'm
And
thinking,
the main characters are not dying off.
I'm thinking from here on out, they're gonna make the show what they want it to be,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be very different
Yeah.
than the
The
actual
book,
books, as opposed to before. It was very different, but the things they stuck to it pretty closely.
Right.
Who do you think's gonna be on the throne in the end? You said Arya, I think, earlier.
I could see Arya. As much as, and they keep making that point that Jon Snow doesn't want to be on it. I think it's going to be Jon Snow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Jon and Dany.
Yep.
If Dany isn't vilified by the end.
I think Danny's going to turn heel.
I think Jaime's going to kill Cersei. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Arya, considering the whole thing. But I think it'd be a little redundant to have Arya kill the.
I think
other major
I
bad
honestly think the Night King was her big spot of the season.
Yeah.
Might be the biggest spot of the entire season. We have 3 episodes left to find out, but so far that's been it.
Yeah.
And that's our Game of Thrones.
That is our Game of Thrones talk, people.
Where we at?
We are well over an hour, so I'm thinking we might just call this an episode and
Yeah.
then turn Endgame into its own episode.
Let's do
What do you
Endgame
think?
as our own episode
All right,
because
with
I
that-
got to go.
Cool. This was Jam Up number 27, ladies and gentlemen. The Game of Thrones episode, apparently. I hope I didn't piss you off, one person who doesn't like the topic of conversation. You must be one of those 1% of people that love to tell us they don't watch Game of Thrones. Fuck you, people. And, well, we love you. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And that was it. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the new Jam Up channel. I'm sure I'll be fucking throwing that out there a lot in the next few weeks. Any help is appreciated, of course. I think that's all I really got. Look forward to the next one. We'll probably talk a lot of Endgame.
And my trip out to Vegas.
And his trip out to Vegas, obviously. Yeah, with that said, till next time.
I won't say it this time. This has been a serious episode. We're just going to take a moment of silence for our fallen friends.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.